Sometimes you have these moments of magic that happen, and you can't quite describe how it came together. Only you know, and it's the logic that comes from your hands and like you doing the piece. No one could replicate that, and it's only like you know it. And I love when those like magic moments happen. Those are kind of cool. I'm Nicole. I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I dabble between analog and digital ways of working. I tend to collect a lot of found objects and materials from my surroundings that also become part of my compositions that are very layered. Sometimes can be a little chaotic. There's always been this relationship also with the tools that I use as well. And I think it has a lot to do with working between the computer and the hand a lot. My work has gotten so digital. I kind of also miss being so in tune with my body and just physically working as an artist. It's like a contradictory feeling that I have a lot with myself as well, as someone who also works as a graphic designer and being in front of computers a lot. I also noticed the beauty of the imperfections that the hand creates as well. How you can show and feel the body in my hands in the work, even if it's my digital work. How can I bring that into the computer, resisting the flatness of the screen in a way? This is the eclectic studio. It's a little messy right now. There's a lot happening. Even when I don't have any specific idea or direction for my work, I kind of just come and sometimes just lie on the floor. But I love that I can just have that feeling that I can make a mess and it can become whatever I want it to be. It goes through many different phases. If I needed to relax lately and just take my mind off of like a project that's consuming me or I'm not sure what direction to take, I will make different color combinations with existing paper scraps I have around the studio. Sometimes the whole floor is messed up with just layers of paper, and there's just absolutely chaos everywhere. I've screen printed a lot of these papers, but then sometimes I just I like altering them on the computer. So then I'll scan it and then I'll digitize it. I'll print it out again, or I'll screen print it again, and I'll bring it back on the computer. It's constantly until I'm satisfied with it. It brings out so much depth and quality, and it really has the ability to transform things based off how you crop it. And when things are really zoomed in, they kind of alien or otherworldly. So I kind of really like that. But yeah, but today it's just paper. Maybe next time we'll do something more funky like jello. Yeah, jello was on the scanner before too. Good times. Scanner's still doing all right. I love the texture of screen printing and the layering that happens and the different colors that you can kind of mix together and the richness and the punchiness of them. I'm doing a mix of sculptural work that kind of is trying to inform some of my two-dimensional work. It's just collage on wood panels. And then I'm doing some large-scale collages as well. This big collage called Everything All at Once. It was this feeling that I had, this energy, and it all kind of came together. It was almost I created it in a sense of fury and needed to get something out, some kind of energy out. It's all combined from objects and textures and just things I've collected. And it feels like these elements are floating. If I look at it, I can't quite tell what's real, what's what's fake. And I like how everything is kind of like mixed together into this giant kind of array. I do a lot of work that visualizes a lot of anxiety around consumption, purchasing things, and just also just my relationship to objects of desire, I guess. There's been a lot. That's my problem. I can't just like focus on one thing. I always get like bored of something and then I try something else. It wasn't long after moving here that I kind of met people, I found a community, and yeah, I just started hanging out with different artists. You kind of artists, like I feel like, find each other. So it was really nice. And sometimes I get my best ideas when I'm just out for a long bike ride and I need to take my mind off of art and I need to think about something totally different that's unrelated. Because if I'm sitting down to do the project, let's say, I'm going to go to the studio and work on the thing. That usually never happens. I never actually sit down and work on the thing. You know, it's almost like too, I don't know how to say it. It's too forced, it's too much pressure. You have to like get into that like zone or like that, you know, that sweet spot of like that flow. I was never good at anything else. This was just the thing I spent the most time doing. I would spend hours drawing, but then I didn't know how I would turn that into a career. I think that was for me something that I wasn't entirely sure how that would come about. As an artist, there's so many unique paths you take and there's so much nuance in that. And now artists are very much their own bosses, they're entrepreneurs, and it just has changed so much. There's nothing wrong with like, you know, having another job while also pursuing art. And I think that's the reality of many artists as well. But I think like a lot of times, you know, what could happen is that if you get enough traction with your artwork, eventually that artwork will, you know, take over your full-time job. That will become your job eventually. I think a lot of times what we see online is that like everyone looks really successful and everyone looks really, you know, like, oh my gosh, well, they have their career all set. And I definitely think like it's not true. And I think, you know, it's okay to like also like not have it figured out, you know, and I think everyone is on a journey to figuring out what that looks like for them. And I don't know if it's ever a place where you fully get there. I'm not sure. Should I look at?
So you're just looking at me?
Like,
yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, like you're talking to me.
Alright, sounds good.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know if I should just like look off into the distance or something.
Yeah, and just contemplate life.